Hello there, woven web enthusiasts. Today we have a gentleman that has written into Reddit looking for some advice. Am I the asshole for telling my postpartum wife the same thing she told me? And I will add there are some golden nuggets, some zingers, if you will, on how he should reply to this woman in the comments. Apprehensive Waltz 904 writes in the Am I the Asshole subreddit, "So this is a throwaway account and I really need some advice. The backstory is when I was younger, I was bullied for being fat, and my mother wouldn't help me lose weight. So when I got into college, I lost a lot of weight, gained muscle, and now I'm 6'5" and 240 pounds. My wife and I have been together since we were 25, and we're 32 now. We have a 6-month-old baby. She's had a hard time taking care of him, so I've been helping in any way I can. Consequently, I haven't had much time to go back to the gym, and I haven't gained that much weight, maybe 25 or 30 pounds, but I have gained some, which is okay because I still look good. I plan to go back to the gym when the baby gets on a better sleep schedule and my wife isn't so tired. And I might add, my wife is a stay-at-home mom. Recently, she's been telling me that I'm getting fat and I'm not as attractive as before. Now, I mainly brush her comments off, but she's been doing it a lot recently. Hasn't made me real happy, and I've told her this. She said she'll stop, but she hasn't. So, a few days ago, I told her if she doesn't stop, I'm going to say something you are not going to want to hear. She laughed and said, okay, and rolled her eyes. So on Monday, she'd called me a fatty and said that I needed to hit the gym before she calls my old classmates. And I said, I need to hit the gym, but it's been 6 months since you've had the baby and you're not looking so good yourself. She ran off crying. I haven't apologized because I don't know if I'm in the wrong or not. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize, but I don't know. So the question is, am I the asshole? And OP adds, my wife has not had any body issues in the past. She always feels like whatever weight she is what weight she is. Yes, I do love her body and I find it attractive, so I just said it to get back to her. And to start the comments, LilyLou6 writes, you are correct in saying she is emotionally abusive and needs help. But I've had postpartum twice and I can definitely say it makes you incredibly depressed. It shouldn't make you verbally abusive to where you are degrading your spouse. I was so lost, and the last thing I ever thought about doing was name-calling my husband. His wife is disrespectful to his feelings and is definitely the asshole here. Carpenter Hot writes, honestly, postpartum depression can present more as a PPA, postpartum anxiety, in some women and make them do crappy things like this. My source, I had this presentation, and I was a legit asshole to my husband, even as he was doing his best to support me and the baby. Our relationship still hasn't fully recovered, and our son is 7 years old now. Georgia the Poinsettia writes, exactly. My mother and daughter were like this both during and after pregnancy. Somehow, I escaped this, and I never felt better during this period of my life. Smooko writes, yeah, the fact that she said, we'll call your old classmates, it's cruel. Membership Impossible says, how would she react if you said, sure, go ahead, and while you're at it, I'll call some of your old girlfriends from school also? Tinvilly Creature writes, if she treats her husband this way, imagine how she'll talk to their child if the child is bigger someday. NPC 1125 adds, former fatty here that was bullied a lot. She knows your story, how hard you worked, how the bullying affected you. Then she proceeded to bully you as a grown man who's putting off working to help her. She earned it, especially when you asked her to stop and gave her warnings. Most of the time, I would not say this is the right thing, but attacking someone who's had specific trauma around that repeatedly is messed up. I'll add that I'll bet you're not the only person she's bullied about that over the years. Independent Kiwi 1779 writes, the dildo of consequences rarely arrives lubricated. And a response to that, this is epic. I can't wait to say it to someone out loud. Additionally, Too Pale writes, that should be a motivational poster at a workplace. And a response, yep, I'm replacing the Dare to Soar motivational eagle poster with a dildo poster immediately. Rosaline comments, play bitch games, win bitch prizes. Responding to that, the Picho says, this is 1,000 times better than the F around and find out and needs to replace it immediately. BK Mama 227 says, Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. Adorable Spray adds, don't let your mouth write checks that your fat ass can't cash. Puta Madre 101 says, my husband and I also gained weight since the baby came. He got a bit of a belly fat, but our little girl now loves sleeping on top of him, and it looks very comfy. And honestly, there's nothing sexier than a good dad. Spandex and Tape Decks writes, she's a fool. I personally would prefer a fat, loving partner who's dedicated to our baby rather than a fit, uncaring partner who couldn't be bothered. Hell, I'd worship the ground they walked on. I think anyone with an ounce of sense would feel the same way. It amazes me, exhausted from the baby, but she still has the energy to be cruel. Postpartum depression is a bitch, but mental struggles are never an excuse to torture your partner. Coffee Guzzling Bastard says, it's amazing how people have no problem talking to others like this, but crumble when they get talked to like that. The cognitive dissonance is wild. Karma Repellent writes, it's a huge red flag. You can't mention my weight, but I can insult yours. You can't gain weight, but I can be whatever size I want. What's the next one? You have to be faithful, but I can cheat, and it's your fault. And as for me here at Woven Webs, I love a few of these comments. The dildo of consequences rarely arrives lubricated, darling. Or play bitch games, win bitch prizes. And finally, don't let your mouth write checks that your fat ass can't cash. But on a more serious note, let's be realistic. She will talk to their child the same way she's talking to OP. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. If you're liking the videos, hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you listening.